Hello, welcome to today's episode of the Fitness Business Advice podcast. Today's episode follows on very closely to what we did last time. This time we're talking about things that you can do for you to progress, to adapt, to grow, especially during a lockdown, okay? Before we get into it, as always, I just want to remind you that if you do want to work with us more closely, get your hands on all of the information that we have got, that we've ever written down. It's available on an online portal for as little as £50 a month. To get involved with that, you go to ricmoylan.co.uk, that's ricmoylan.co.uk/mentoring, okay? Go on there, you can sign up from the get-go, you get into the portal, you get so much knowledge, getting clients, sales, consultations, marketing, managing your numbers, growth, taking on facilities, going online, absolutely everything that you would ever need. So get in touch, get involved there if you want. If you want to get in touch with us, thank you. One thing quickly, thank you to everybody that's been messaging us about what you want to hear us talk about. Loads of people have been getting in touch on the email, which is fitnessbusinessadvice@gmail.com, or directly with me on Instagram, which is @LloydGordon with an underscore, LLOYD, Gordon with an underscore on the end, or at Ric Moylan on Instagram as well. I just had that one in, but loads of people got into contact with me on the email. Thank you so much. The things that you are requesting, let us know exactly what you need help with, and it means that the titles and the information within the podcast is going to be much more usable for you guys. So the more information that you request, the better, and the better the podcast will be. Okay, thanks for listening. Thanks for all the questions. We really do appreciate it. If you want any more knowledge from us, if you want to learn more, maybe you're bored of my voice already, but if you want more of it, it's ricmoylan.co.uk/mentoring. You can get involved there. In the meantime, enjoy this. As always, take as much of it as you can, put it into place. Enjoy the episode. See you later.
Hi everyone, welcome to the latest episode of the Fitness Business Advice podcast. As always, I am Rick.
I'm Lloyd.
And I hope you're good. We are just chuckling at something that I've just said off camera, which we absolutely cannot repeat on this. It will also sadly not make the outtake.
Too much for the outtakes, that.
Yeah. It was we were talking, as always, we plan, we try and plan these things, we try and plan these podcasts. We have our themes, we have our key messages, but me and Lloyd go off on one, and that usually involves me saying something completely inappropriate, and that was one of those times, wasn't it, Lloyd? So, nothing too offensive, might I add, because we're not about that.
It's all right, they'll never know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah. Let's put it this way: if Lloyd could absolutely hang me out to dry there on that.
I'm editing later,
yeah. No, all jokes aside, it's all in humour. It's not anything else. But we hope you're good. We're still here, as you see. Lloyd is in his office. I am in mine. We are still at home, as you guys are. We're still in lockdown. And whilst today's podcast is unique from our last one, you may find that there's a little bit of overlap there, and that's something we always try and do, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Give messages that cross.
Yeah, the more you listen to, the more you should learn. So if this is your first one, obviously going back's always going to be helping you out as well. There's a lot we've talked about before, so we'll cross over a little bit. But today, just like last time, we are working on things that you can very actively put into place right now to make your business better.
Yeah, we talked about like sort of key little business systems, didn't we? And key little things that you must do. I'm wounded here, by the way, because Lloyd's sat drinking a brew and I'm not, so definitely a bit of role reversal going on here. But we talked about key things that you should do right now to keep your clients happier during the lockdown, and then per se, because of that, it ultimately keeps your business solid, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And then today we're going to move it on to things that you should be doing during lockdown as a coach. One, to look after yourself, but one, to make sure that your business survives it, because without you in a coaching business, it won't survive. Yeah, you're the main force in your business. You need to be looking after yourself a little bit. And we're not going to get all. I mean, I wouldn't, but we're not going to let Rick get all NLP on you. We're not going to be talking about hypnotism and shit. We're just going to get to some practical things that you can do. I'm only taking the piss. If you like getting hypnotized, that's up to you. But I'm going to get some practical things that you can do to better yourself, or even things that you can just consider and let you get into your brain and your mind and let you open up to a few different things that might help you progress and in turn help your business progress.
Yeah. And maybe there's going to be a little bit of, mirror holding here on this one as well. Maybe there's a couple of harsh truths coming your way. And for a couple of you, listening, it might be a little uncomfortable. But it is what it is. And as Lloyd said there, today's podcast is to help you, look after yourself. But then it's ultimately about remembering that, regardless of whether you own a gym or a studio or you are a one-man band, a one-person band, or you do talks or online or whatever your business is, and whether it's called a name or a theme or whatever your business is named after, or Lloyd's got M3 Perform in Manchester. My business and brand is my name, Ric Moylan. Yeah. Regardless, you are the person who props up. You're the central pillar of your business. Yeah.
Yeah.
And today's podcast is like Lloyd says, it's about making sure you're okay. But then also, let's be clear as well. You even if your business is doing all right. So let's say last time you implemented all the stuff that we told you to do, and maybe you were doing that anyway. And that's great. But you still can't be a bag of shit. Sorry, but you can't.
People overlook it in our industry. As a coach, as a PT, people understand that you are your product as in how you look. And that's evident in the industry. If you go through any PT's Instagram, it's mainly them with very little clothes on. Yeah, most PTs, right? General. That's the consensus, right? Even if it's not mostly that, there's that in there because you have to be your product. So you have to look a certain way so that people will want you to train them, right? That old school thing about having the overweight PT, right? I'm sure there's a few out there. I'm sure there's a few successful ones out there, but that's an old term that means that it doesn't work. You are your product in PT. But what's overlooked is you are your product in here as well. If you're not stable, if you're not focused, if you're not driven on many more things in your physique, then your business will fail because of it, yeah? Or can fail because of it. You could be the thing that's holding your business back, your ability to progress, to adapt, to move on, and to find motivation, to kick on with the business, even in the hardest times. If you aren't able to do that, then your business can't do that, and your clients can't do that as well.
Yeah, I've had times, particularly throughout my sort of late 30s and whatnot, where I've had times where my weight and my physical conditioning has not been great. My business, and and I had a lot going on, and we've all got things going on, but it was what it was. We had some tragedies in the family and all that kind of stuff. But either way, my weight, I put weight on. I became out of shape and deconditioned, and I was going through a tough time in my life. But reality is, to my clients, I was deconditioned. Now, I wasn't based in a gym at the time. I was doing a lot more talks and seminars, but still, my brand was me being healthy. So you are the central pillar of your brand. When I worked in a gym, which was quite some time ago now, but I was always in I would never bodybuild or ripped, but I was always in good shape. And and what we're here today, like Lloyd said, is not just about the physical, though. It's about, and maybe arguably right now in lockdown, more about the mental health, the mental fitness, and making sure that you guys are doing the key basics and the key fundamentals in order to, your business still might be getting paid, your finances are on direct debit and all those key business systems. But what about the key business system of you? Yeah, because what we do as coaches is we spend a lot of time helping others we spend a lot of time making sure everybody else is okay. And then who's recharging our batteries? And I think that's a bit of what we're here to talk about today, I think, Lloyd, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
as we get into this, I'm going to get into straight away into one of my pet peeves with all of this. It's PTs advertising that they're shit. I don't think it's great. When their PT's going, yeah, I've had a shit day, so I'm eating Domino's, and that's fine if it's once. But if that's every other day, then it's an issue. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't be advertising that shit because people aren't ready to be on the level that you're on. If you're struggling with sleep or energy or motivation, you shouldn't be advertising it constantly. You should be advertising that you are working to get better. It's health. It's not just all about how you look. If you're shredded but you sleep like shit, I'd rather sleep and be out of shape personally. Do you know what I mean? Depends who you ask. But if you ask the guy that's running a business and got kids, he definitely wants sleep more than he wants abs. So you can't be on the opposite sides of that to your clients, and being aware of the message that you're putting out and being your product, UI product, is very important on the message you put out on social media, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we're offline and when we're not recording, we can talk to each other and we can say, oh, I've had a shit day, or, we can have listen, none of us are perfect, are we? We can
all have shit days, yeah. Just mean regularly. You see people in a spiral advertising it as if it's a business.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Me and you offline, we can talk to each other and say, oh, fucking hell, I'm pissed off or tired, I've not slept, blah, blah, blah. But we're not putting that on our social media then, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Because our clients and the people who look to us for leadership, and I suppose that's the key label there is leadership. Mm-hmm. They don't want to see that. I mean, if we do put there, technology issues as always. Mm-hmm. If we do say, put a post up saying, I've historically always been a poor sleeper. It's something I'm trying to work towards. Here's my top 3 things that I'm trying to do to improve my sleep. Mm-hmm. Our clients will love that because we're giving them some tips, we're giving them some mm-hmm. help, but we're also showing that we're a bit vulnerable and we're not
absolutely
perfect, and we're they can relate to.
It's one of the key parts of leadership, I would say. It goes into 2. One is leading by example, which is really, really common. But 2 is empathy, understanding what people are going through to be able to lead them out of it. That post that Rick just said is, I've always struggled. I understand the struggle you're going through, but I'm going to lead by example, and I'm working at this, and this, and this is how it's feeling. It doesn't even have to be massive bits of advice, but showing empathy and showing that you're trying to do it will allow somebody to know that they can relate to you and that you're going through similar things.
But posting, fuck's sake, I can't sleep again, I'm sick of this shit.
That's the difference.
There's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the difference. And obviously Rick is definitely more the expert in leadership than I am, but when we were talking about this episode today, and we were talking about the 3 things we're going to talk about is leadership, motivation, and then how to stay productive. But when we're talking about leadership, the first 2 things that come to my head are leading by example and showing empathy. So that example that Rick's just used covers both of my top 2 points. But what else would you say, Rick, was the top things for making you a better leader and concentrating on leadership?
I think, like you said, I think we all know that leading by example is a big one. But is it remembering it's okay not to be perfect?
Yeah.
Like you just said, Lloyd, with empathy, our clients don't want, unless, I think if you're a bodybuilder mm-hmm. and you want to get into bodybuilding, then you really want to work with someone that's really, that's really, ripped and lean, because that's seen as a sign of expertise. If you're pretty weak and want to get strong, you probably want to learn off someone who's pretty strong, because that's, again, part of your expertise. But if your business in particular, which a lot of PT businesses are based on, is based around, health and well-being and weight loss and fat loss, which is linked to health, because we mm-hmm. all predominantly know we've got to have a foundation of health there, then I think it's okay for you to say, hey, do you know what? I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, but your delivery is crucial. Your delivery is crucial. So I think that the final part of those that little leadership thing to add on there, Lloyd, is controlling your emotions. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, because we all get pissed off. We'll get pissed off with each other. You might be pissed off with me, but it wouldn't be appropriate if we started ranting on this podcast at each other right now. The timing is all wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it's okay for you to be pissed off or feel flat or feel down or any one of those things. But you outwardly, when you become a coach PT,
you have to be a leader. Yeah.
You have to lead. That is a part of the job. You can't be a delivery driver if you can't drive a van.
Yeah.
So,
and then we use the example then of a post, right? But the same goes in a session. Yeah. So obviously, a few people are still doing, quite a few people are still doing face-to-face outdoors. But even if it was a Zoom session or whatever, or a phone call with your client, if you go, how's things? And they go, yeah, I've been struggling with this and this, but I've been working, I've done my sessions, I've done this and that. How are you doing? You go, oh, I'm shit, fucking knackered, not motivated. Like, where do you think that's going? Like, you have to lead, and to lead, you have to be the product. If your product is based on health, you have to be outwardly searching for better health. You have to be productively working towards being better all the time. If it's bodybuilding, then you have to be involved in bodybuilding. It's one of the old things. Me and Rick both come from combat sports, right? If you turn up to a boxing gym and try and tell a boxer how to throw a punch when you've never thrown a punch, they're going to laugh you out of the place. It's as simple as that. But it's about the delivery and the timing massively. You can help somebody, but can you work out and mold the right way to get the most out of them? And that's being a leader.
Yeah. For those of you that work on a gym floor, you know, regardless of, let's just park lockdown and say it's over there for the minute. You know, you wouldn't go into work if you were absolutely full of a cold or you were vomiting or anything like that, because, you know, that physical illness means that it's not appropriate for you to be in that environment, in that space. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting, just to be clear, because of the words I use there, that having a rant is anything to do with mental illness. It's not. We're all entitled to a rant. What I'm saying is, line up the right behavior to the right timing, the right mechanism. Ranting on social media that, you know, you're sick of the fucking government, which we've talked about before as well. Yeah. Sick of the government, or you're sick of this, or you're sick of that, or you can't sleep, or whatever. Is a bit like, you know, you wouldn't go on and put a video on of you pissed up. There's now wrong with going out when you're allowed in like 10 years and having a few drinks and all that. But what we're saying is leadership's crucial. And if you need support, and this is the crucial one, as I said before, I've got people around me, and just like Lloyd has, some of our mutual people, some of them are different. You know, we can all go to our people for support, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just remembering that, as I say, you know, just like driving a van, is that when you do this job, you commit to being, I think there's the words as well, you commit to being a role model. Yeah. And it's tough. And the crown does weigh heavy sometimes. Yeah.
Absolutely. And not much tougher than when you're locked in your house. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we get it. And that's why we have our mentoring group. One of the big things that we do in our mentoring group, it's fucking support. We're just all there supporting each other, aren't we? And listening to each other, you know, and sometimes we have to give each other a bit of a slap and all that and say, come on. But then other times we put an arm around each other's shoulder, and because we all need that. But if our guys post publicly, we're on it. Yeah. Because we commit to being a role model, you know.
Absolutely.
Commit to being a leader. It's not easy. Let's just be clear. No one's perfect as well.
But you can work at it, and the more you do, the more your clients can follow. The more they'll be inspired, the more you commit to being a leader.
Talk to them about it. You know, it's all, the thing is, like, you like Lloyd, people, we know this stuff. We've had this conversation, like you're saying, about boxing and jabbing and all that. Everybody knows somebody who could have been. Everybody knows someone who could have been a boxer, or could have been a sportsman, or could have been a PT. How many people out there working in different jobs say, oh, I'm a PT? And that's one of our big ones. We're like, no, you're not, because you're not in it, you're not doing the work. It's easy to band around advice to others, isn't it? Get up early. But
Yeah.
actually, if you're struggling to get up early yourself, it's okay to tell your clients and talk about your experiences and
Mhm.
say, hey, guys, and it's great for your clients, great for you, great for business. They always say to be good at something, teach it simply.
Mhm.
Guys, I'm committing to getting up at 6:30. I'm having, because I know it makes the day productive and I know I should be journaling and da 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 da. However, I'm finding it fucking hard. And here's what I'm doing well and here's what's not going so well. Rather than uh, having a gripe and a moan and
Mhm.
moaning to your clients that you're tired and all that
Yeah.
jazz. There's a
Mhm.
difference between communicating with empathy and moaning and
Yeah.
complaining.
Big time.
Went
So
off on one there, didn't I? Sorry.
yeah, no, we did. Both of us did. Yeah, well, good. That's good. That is understanding and being a leader. Yeah, that's what you need to do for your clients. All right. This is a non-negotiable. The next one is being. So it's motivation. The next big thing. Okay, but it's not just about being the motivator for them. Okay, and again, the industry trend is that I'm in shape. They should be motivated to be in shape. That's the sort of old school line of PT. That's not enough. Okay, not enough in anymore in the world, but definitely not when everyone's locked at home. Yeah, you've got to understand what motivation is. It's not constant. Nobody's motivated every day. Even you, even fucking Usain Bolt gets up in the morning and don't want to run. Whoever. Not everybody's motivated every day. And Ric's worked with some of the best athletes in the world, and he'll tell you that they're not motivated every day either. Understanding that there's different ways of motivating you and your clients, and to how to utilize them, and then how to know when to take advantage of when you are. Because sometimes it happens naturally. Sometimes you wake up and you go, right, I'm going to get loads of shit done today. And other days you wake up and can't be bothered. But it's managing that yourself and being able to portray that to your clients and making them understand the variables within it. Motivation isn't one set linear thing. It flows, and Rick calls it surfing the waves, right?
Yeah.
You've got to move with it sometimes, and that goes for you when you've got stuff to do, but it also goes for how you manage your clients for motivation. Do you think, Rick?
Yeah. We have a saying, don't we, in the program? Motivation is disloyal.
Mhm.
It comes and goes. It comes and goes, and like Lloyd says, to echo that, I always talk about surfing the waves of motivation, and that sometimes you're up here and then other times you're down there. What I do know is that if you're searching for the horizon, the flat, the level, for it to be there all the time, you're gonna be searching for the rest of your life. And the circumstances now are testing all of us more than they ever have done. This is unique to all of us. We know how to open gyms. We know how to set boot camps up. We know how to be PT managers because we've done all that before. We know how to be PTs. None of us knew how to get through lockdowns, So then we tackled it from a business perspective. And this, I'm talking about us here. And it was like, yeah, okay, the businesses are sorted, but we're fucked. And it's like, well, we've got to look after ourselves as well. And that's the
Yeah.
premise of all this. And being present with motivation is absolutely crucial. And understanding that it's absolutely okay to have good days of motivation and lower days of motivation. One of the key ones, going back to before, there's the key solution here to all of it,
Mhm.
is communicating it in the right way and
Mhm.
at the right time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, and controlling them emotions so that if you are low, that you've got your circles around you that you can reach out to for support. Your
Mhm.
clients pay you for support. They pay you for leadership. They pay you for motivation. They don't pay you for you to get it off them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I go to my parents. I'm lucky, don't get me wrong. I've got a good support network. So's Lloyd. As I say, some of our support is intertwined.
Mhm.
But what we don't do is go to our clients to motivate us. Yeah. And by, oh, I'm not feeling it today. Sick of this being inside, however it manifests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one wants to wear that. They're thinking that
No,
themselves. Yeah, no one wants to wear that.
understanding that motivation is not a linear thing is absolutely crucial, because when you understand something, you can get to a place of acceptance Okay, if you don't understand it, it's very difficult to get to a place of acceptance, and that's important, for so many things in your life as well. But when you can recognize those little demotivated signals, the physiology, the lethargy, all those kind of things, you can then understand it, and that's then when you can break yourself out of it, and you can maybe not that we'd overly encourage this, but maybe rearrange that session and say, actually, I need to step back a little bit. Can I put you in for tomorrow instead?
And then within that, it's understanding that not everybody is motivated by the same thing, right? So we've all heard the stick and the carrot analogy, right? That's really, really basic form of away from motivation and a towards motivation. Some people work well with one and not the other, and vice versa. Yeah. So what motivates you doesn't necessarily motivate somebody else. Some people, I like to meditate in the morning, then I'm on with my day. I can't do that. I hate that. That sounds like the worst thing in the world to me.
That's what I'm chuckling at. I'm laughing about it.
I like to do stuff like that, but I like to do it at night, because if I do it in the morning, it makes me tired. Yeah, simple as. So it's as simple as what works for you doesn't work for everybody else. What works for one person doesn't work for the next. And a common theme with what we talk about with coaches is that things that people would never do with a program, they do in their normal life or in the business. So one person squatting and they love it, and you're squatting, the next person you train has got an injury and they can't squat, so you change the exercise, right? You modify it and you get them the results. That's what you do. You work around it. Some of you even know what you're doing to fix the problem, go in there, fix exactly what it is, and then get them to squatting. But then when something doesn't work in your business, you just fucking either get rid of it and never go back to it. Don't search for another way. The old analogy is a Facebook ad one, right? I tried Facebook ads, they don't work, never doing them again. Okay, but you didn't do that when you were back squatting, because now you're doing more weight. So it's translating everything you do for achieving more weight, achieving a weight loss, achieving anything you do within a program and taking it into your business. Motivation isn't the same for everybody, and it's not achieved the same way for everybody. Some people will know what motivates them, some don't. So you have to help them figure it out. For you personally, most coaches are real bad at motivating themselves to do the shit tasks. Yeah. Taxes, main one we talked about every week. Programming seems to be all right for most people, some people not so much, but anything where you've got to sit in front of your laptop or notepad for a long period of time, people struggle with, right? Now you're at home, this is your time to really sort of jump into that, I would say. Do you know what?
Yeah,
get yourself around it.
Yeah, this is, I think it was, I don't like, it was Tony Robbins. We don't really want to quote too often or name drop too often, but I think it was him, and he said, "Where focus goes, energy flows." I think it was that. Where focus goes, energy flows, and of course, there's times for all of us where at the minute where we've got more time on our hands.
Yeah.
And if we focus on the boredom, the fact that we're a little more disconnected than we've ever been, we're a little more restricted than we've ever been, we focus on those things and we repeat those things. Just like doing bicep curls. You do bicep curls every day, you're probably going to get big biceps. Yeah. Maybe as big as mine one day, but anyway, let's move on. But where you focus goes, your energy flows. If you focus on that it's all negative, what's going on right now, and it's all negative within our business, within our brand, then guess what? It will be. But actually, there is now time to, like Lloyd said, to clear the decks of those tasks. I mean, how many people in the spring, 8 months ago, whenever, were doing the garden and nobody wanted to do the garden. Everyone's gardens are mint right now. Obviously it's winter, but you get the point. There is the time right now to get rid of all those tasks that were weighing you down and were making your shoulders heavy. There is the time right now to build that second business that you've always talked about, that you've never actually done. Lloyd's got projects he's working on right now. I'm working on my projects, built some of my courses that I've been talking about building courses for 2 or 3 years. Well, I've built 3 during lockdown and written a book. So I'm good to go. I'm just be clear. Have I swerved doing the work sometimes? Fucking dead right I am. Yeah. Have I had ups and downs and good days and bad days? Absolutely.
It's been okay with that as well, isn't it?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, because I'm a human being and we're all human. But the point is, if we focus on, oh, I can't train my clients, can't train my clients, I'm pissed off with this, I'm pissed off with this. That is where we're at. Whereas if we focus on what can I create? How can I adapt? Like, like Lloyd says, how can I get rid of them tasks that, you know what, they were holding me back from earning when I was out training people. So when,
Let's get this stuff done now.
nothing's forever. Nothing's forever. So, when in a few more weeks you're all back at it, let's get back at it with a clear desk. With all them tasks done.
So let's finish up with some top tips, right? So we're going to talk about being productive and also trying to manage some of the stuff we've already talked about. I'm going to start off, right? So one of the things that I've worked on over the last few years and figured out and now know that works for me, okay? It's understanding what works for you. This is a tip to you find your way. I manage myself in small working blocks, okay? It's one of the reasons, I think, that I dropped out of college, couldn't go to school because I can't concentrate for long periods of time. My working blocks are about 25, 30 minutes, okay? And when I'm really trying to get stuff done, I'll set 3 or 4 of them in a row. 25 minutes, 10 minute break. 25 minutes, 10-minute break. 25 minutes, 10-minute break. In that 10 minutes, I'll just make a brew, flick through Instagram, whatever I need to do just to switch off a little bit. Because I know when I come back, I can get back into it then, whether it's the same task or a new task. I know my working habits now because I've tried and tested, just like you would with a program. I've tried and tested and found the way that works for me, and short bursts is a way. I know if I do that in 4 hours, I can do a full day's work. Yeah. Then I can call it a day instead of sitting there and staring at paper for an hour because I'm panicking about not doing it. I know if I give myself that time structure and a little bit of a deadline, I know I can do it. But it's all about finding the environment and the structure that motivates you or that you can be motivated within. Yeah, that's my number one for most people. Rick, where do you go with that? Getting stuff done.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I love that finding what works for you. What there was an old saying, wasn't there, about the goose and the gander years ago? Good for the goose and good for the gander, or something like that. Whatever, So, for me, being, with being productive, I think we've talked about the ones before about eating the frog. I think we said, didn't we? And facing up to the tough stuff. But I think a big one for me is in terms of productivity and everything we've spoken about is. I think reaching out to people is good. Reaching out for support, I think, is more crucial now than ever.
Also, we all adds loads of accountability to it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, we all are accountable to each other. I don't sit, or Lloyd doesn't sit up in our ivory tower and say, you all do this, we're going to do fuck all. It's a 2-way relationship, and that's between us and the group, so. We're all accountable. We're all supportive to one another. But then I think for me, the other one, and I know I'm giving you 2 here, but there we go. It's about being nice. It sounds a bit corny, a bit cheesy, but just be nice to yourself as well. Yeah. Just be nice. You're not a robot. You're not even perfect. You're a human being. And Lloyd touched on this before. I get asked all the time, oh, how does that athlete train so good every day? And I say, they don't. They don't. Yeah, they're not perfect. They're not, they're not elite they're elite at their talent, but they're not elite in every part of their life. They have, ups and downs and highs and lows, just like we all do.
Yeah, real good. I think that just about caps it off. We're talking today, overviewing that. Look, you've got to be a leader. You've got to understand motivation. You've got to motivate yourself to be able to motivate your clients. And then on the end there, we've got some top tips to try and facilitate those things in your life, yeah? And be nice to yourself, understand what motivates you, and set up the right procedure for you to be motivated in.
Absolutely.
All right, good, cool.
Do you want to close off where they can find us and stuff, and then I'll keep quiet so I don't mess this bit up?
So, we have the mentoring program available at the moment. Actually, tagging up on what we talked about, in the first lockdown, we built the entire online system. We wrote and Rick built the entire online system, which is now available for £50 a month. It's an absolute bargain for the stuff that is on it. If you are just starting out as a PT, if you're trying to go from coaching 10 people to coaching online, if you want to open a gym, if you want to coach athletes, there's information in there about all of that stuff, all the stuff that me and Rick have done and been successful at, okay? So all of that's on there. You can find it at ricmoylan.co.uk. It's ricmoylan.co.uk/mentoring. If you go to that and click the link, it is there ready to sign up to. If you have any more questions, hit us on the website, on the email, got it wrong for the first time, on the email, it's fitnessbusinessadvice@gmail.com. Hit us up on there and we will get back to you. If not, get us onto Instagram. It's at Ric Moylan. On Instagram, it's RIC Moylan, and mine is at Lloyd Gordon with an underscore on the end. It's LLOYD. People spell my name wrong all the time, don't get why. With an underscore on the end. Lloyd Gordon with an underscore on the end. Hit us up if you've got any questions. If not, we're done.
That's it.
Cool.
See you later.
Wait, in a bit.
Cheers, guys. Bye.